Hi, my name is Sean Dougherty, and I'm a student here at Lone Star College, Montgomery. I am right now sitting in the Bioinformatics Lab, which, as you can see, has a lot of computers. And today I'm just going to give a brief overview of some of the projects I'm working on, and I guess show you where I'm at with them. So this is our newest toy in the lab. It actually was paid for by the physics department, but we're playing with it here in the Bioinformatics Lab. So far, a handful of students in the computer club have had a chance to play with it. And so it's a Lego Mindstorms kit. It's basically Legos, so you can build whatever kind of robot you want with pieces like this. I've opted to not spend much energy on robot design. Basically, I took the little computer portion of it, the programmable part, it has a little screen on it, and I've slapped some motors and wheels on it, and then right here is a color sensor, because I, as a computer programmer, am more interested in the software side of things. So I just got a minimal robot to start playing with the problems that I'm more interested in. So what I'll do is I'll show the robot in action. I'll show you the first few pieces of software that I've written. I've only had it a couple days, so there's nothing really advanced going on yet, but stay tuned. Okay, so what you see here is the Lego robot sitting on a little track that comes with the Mindstorm kit, and I'm about to run I think what was the first program that I wrote for this. And what it's going to do is it's going to follow the black track using its color sensor. It's only got one sensor, and that's a little problematic because you know, if it sees black, it knows it's on the track. If it sees white, it doesn't know if it's off to the left of the track or to the right of the track. If I had more than one light sensor, I could be a little more sophisticated, but in any case, this first program assumes that it's going in a clockwise direction around the track. So I'll go ahead and execute that. All right, good job, robot. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you what happens if you try to make it go counterclockwise. And off it goes. So that's obviously a problem. So the next thing I did was I made a version of the program that could go in either direction. So first I'll have it go in the clockwise direction. Alright, so just like before, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off. I'm not going to tell it that it's now pointing in the counterclockwise direction. It's going to figure that out by detecting the rug. Oh, found the rug. That's what that high pitch means. And now it knows that it needs to go counterclockwise, so it basically switched its internal state to assume that it is going counterclockwise. So that actually took some doing. By default, well, I'll talk about that in just a second. So getting that bidirectional program to work was a little more difficult than you might think, because typically the information that you get back from the color sensor is one of, I think, 6 integers, and it basically tells you I see black, or I see red, or blue, or white. And the problem was that the rug was reported as black and the track was reported as black. And what I really wanted, and I suppose there would have been other ways to go about this, but I wanted to be able to tell the difference between the rug and the track. So I started looking into ways that I could do that, and by using a, I guess, more complicated interface with the color sensor, I was able to get back the raw signals on the different color channels. And so I started experimenting with those values coming in, and I don't know if this is simple or not, but I took the 3 color channels and treated them as if they were in a 3D space, calculated, I guess, a length vector into that three-dimensional point for the RGB value. And then for each of the R and the G and the B, I divided those by that length, and it gave me a ratio of the different colors, and I was able to distinguish between the black and the rug based on the relative strengths of the 3 color channels. So in pursuing that, I made a little program that can make different beeps depending on what it sees. So here we go. It sees white, so it makes no sound. It sees the track, so it makes the high-pitched sound. And it sees the rug, so it makes the deep pitch. So anyway, that took a little bit of doing, but that was what I needed for the bidirectional track algorithm that I developed. All right, so this is the software interface that comes with the Mindstorm kit. What it allows you to do is to visually assemble a program. Like this little block I just set down controls the motors. I can say, well, I want to run the motors connected to ports A and B, but not to C. I want it to go forward. I want it to run at 62% power. And I want it to run for 2 seconds, and when it's done, I want you to brake. And so that'll be the first action that it takes, and then the next one will be wait until a touch sensor is activated. And you can do more complicated things like here's a loop, an infinite loop, and then we can put an if statement in there, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's a pretty clever little interface, and really the goal of this interface is to make it possible for grade schoolers to program. Now, I have a lot of experience programming, and I found this very frustrating, so I went online. I found a tool out there called BrickX, and what you're seeing right here is source code. This is actually, I'll maximize this. This program right here is the bidirectional track code that I wrote. I suppose it would be possible to write this with the visual interface, but it would have, believe it or not, been much, much, much more difficult. Every plus sign, every divide, every equal takes a different block, so this would be enormous. And actually, well, it wouldn't have been possible. I don't think I could have gotten the raw color channels from it. So in any case, here's my get color method, and here's my code that I use to distinguish between the track and the rug. Here's my rug recover routine, where once it detects the rug, it backs up the motor at 50% power for 60 degrees of rotation, and then it turns one wheel until it detects the track, and so on. So it's basically just C code with a few modifications specific to the next brick, which is what runs the Lego robot. All right, so I guess that's all I really have to say about the Legos, and now I guess I'll move on to the artificial life project. So this is a project that I've been involved with on and off for about 5 years. It was started by a man called Larry Yeager. He started on it when he was with Apple, and then continued to work on it when he was in the informatics department at Indiana University. I just happened to stumble upon it and started contributing code, I guess maybe 5 years ago. And so I kind of put it down when I decided to come back to school. But I recently got an email from someone who needs some help. She's at Indiana University working on her PhD dissertation, and she needed some modifications done to try to make them evolve a communication with grammar, some kind of rudimentary grammar. So I'm trying to help her out with that by introducing a sound feature. It doesn't yet have sound. I guess maybe I should explain what's going on right here. So that top window with all the little squares, it's probably hard for you to tell, but those are the point of view cameras for each of the little creatures down there, the trapezoid shaped agents on that large bottom window. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to evolve them to stop when they eat. And I guess I should mention each of these agents has a genome, has DNA, and that DNA is subject to mutation, and when they mate, the DNA gets crossed over, okay? So there's recombination, and then from that DNA, we build a neural network. So the DNA encodes the neural network, various properties of the neural network, and off they go. They've got a retina, they've got motor neurons that make them move forward and turn and all that. And so what I'm doing with this simulation is, like I said, I'm trying to get them to stop when they eat, and it's actually more challenging than you would expect to get them to do that. In any case, hopefully we'll see some exciting results in the future, and I'll talk about what's going on in later videos. But yesterday I did get them to stop to eat, but it was followed by population crashes because I think I was pushing them too hard. So today I'm trying to make life a little bit easier for them. It looks like right now they're down to 13% of max velocity when eating. That's the best that they can do. I want to get that down to 0%. I probably didn't explain any of this very well. Sorry. There are a couple other projects going on here, but I think I've probably done enough for today. And with that, I guess I'll just sign off. And I guess, well, one thing I'll say before I go is this lab is really amazing. There is so much opportunity here, and I really appreciate that the school has allocated resources for it. I don't know what I'd do without it. I guess probably play video games. So thank you guys.